All right, welcome back to Sunrise Today. Well, the report you saw is not what we're going to be discussing today. We're actually going to be discussing matters concerning security. We do know that recently, Southwest leaders, the governors met, different leaders have been consistently meeting, but they also did submit a report to the president. That is what we're going to talk about now. And what do we do? How do we progress? And what informed all of those. But we've got two gentlemen here with us, as you may have seen in that welcoming slide. We've got Senator Olabiyi Durojai, who was in that delegation. Thank you for coming. Good to see you,
Thank you very much.
And then we also have Yinka Odumaki, spokesperson of Afenifere. Thank you for coming as well this morning.
Good morning.
Let me start with you, Senator. Security is a huge concern in this country. A lot of people want to see it sorted like yesterday. But in the Southwest, this meeting held. If you could give us a background into the meeting that held, what you came up with, and why it does come across as though the governors and the leaders, are they on two separate pages or they're on the same page on this matter?
We are on the same page. There are no two sides to the truth. Now, but we were not part of the meeting in Ibadan, but in part of the speech I delivered to Mr. President on behalf of our own group, I mentioned the importance of what was going on in Ibadan and opined that government should give support to issue of security, give more attention to security, and please make some more subvention for the state governments to be able to carry on their work. And I did say the West alone. So those in the West, I said contemporaneously, they were meeting at the time I was speaking in Abuja, and that they will certainly need more funds, not only those states of the West, but also all over the country.
This is something that I think Afenifere has spoken about in terms of what needs to be done about security, but perhaps in a bigger picture.
Yeah.
So this is a good thing, isn't it?
Well, it's you know, we have been concerned about this matter over the years. Even as yesterday, we were in Ibadan for the relaunch of our laws autobiography translated to Yoruba by Alaroye newspaper. We had Alafin, Olubadan, all the points of Yoruba land. And we took a serious position on these matters because it's becoming so unbearable. And today, many roads in the Southwest, people are afraid to use them. Farmers cannot go to their farm. And lately now, we are going for and see that they want now to set up rural settlements for Fulani herdsmen across the states. And these are issues I take position on. And well, like my leader, Senator Olabiyi said, well, we look at the group that met the president, we look at what they said. It's not different from what the Southwest wants. And our only disagreement with that team was that these are accomplished gentlemen. Senator Olabiyi was a senator, 1999, prominent member of the group. We had former governors on that delegation, of them, who on their own rights can go anywhere in the world to say we are speaking, we are delegation from Yoruba land, and nobody will say where are you coming from. But the only thing we agree was for the presidency to say that we are receiving Afenifere. That was our only argument.
I don't understand. What's the issue with that?
With that, of course, like I said, the delegation that went, they are prominent sons of Yoruba land. Their leaders
And daughters.
Their leaders never right, but they cannot say that they were in the villas of Afenifere. Nobody can fault them for that, right? That was our disagreement, because you see, you create a problem. I know for leadership, there is something that's called moral leadership. Leadership must be moral at all time.
In future, when you invite us to this type of thing, it's good to tell us that we are not the only ones you are inviting others and who they are. Then we will know there are certain issues I wouldn't like to go into polemics with my junior brother here in the summit. But to your question, we went there as Afenifere Ilosiwaju Yoruba. That is what we are. And we went with the acknowledged leaders, those who have been traditionally known all over the years, like Chiwaju Tinubu, Oshoba, some of the immediate past governors of the states and so on. And two prominent ladies were with us. We went there to express what is uppermost in the interest of the West in particular, and the country in general. Our focus was not fixed on the West alone. We had a wider view of the whole country. And we mentioned 5 things: security, education, youth employment, and the issue of empowerment. I mean, the issue of the Constitution, that we're a federal republic of Nigeria. We should keep to the spirit and letters of the Constitution.
So is
These
there
were
any
the things we
suggestion?
went to discuss.
Is there any suggestion that that is not being kept, adhered to, the spirit and the letter of the Constitution, speaking about federalism?
There's always room for improvement. We didn't go there to criticize the government, but to advise the government on how best we can move forward together, to be happier together. The wind does not blow for him who has no destination to sail to. That's the word of a sage. If 3 people are going on a journey, one is heading northwards, another says, no, we should go eastwards, another says, no, we should go southwards, then certainly they are not moving. We really need to have a consensus and understanding moving together, not by hate speeches, not by claiming to be holier than the others, but by coming together to understand. But that's what the late Saddam said. When the debate of formation of Nigerian society, we should know the differences and respect, but we agree to go along together.
What kind of security apparatus do you think exists in the Southwest at the moment, whether it's of government or private interests?
Okay.
And how far-reaching are those to help ensure security among the people?
Now, what we suggested was how to make things better. It is not that there are no security apparatus on the ground. We have the police. But before we went there, Mr. President has said was going to allow a situation where states will have control over police. You know, as of today, or hitherto, the commissioner of police, who is #1 police in any state, does not take orders from the governor of the state. It is his order from the IG. I think that's what is being planned now to do. But we in our paper suggested to government that we should even go beyond state level devolution of control of police up to the right local government level. The 774 local government enshrined in the first schedule to Nigerian Constitution 1999. Because it is the people on the ground who will know more of who are the infiltrators and those who really bastardize the system, the kidnappers. And then we added something that government should engage on public enlightenment and training. Government should fund it, that people should be more vigilant about strangers coming to their neighborhood or even passing through. They should learn how to take note and report anything that they feel is unconventional or suspicious. Fortunately, with modern technology, almost everyone has a telephone set. So you can take photograph without the man knowing, or the person or the suspect knowing, and you can report to the police. In Britain, you find the police level, the efficiency of the police is worldwide and respected. Why? Because there are so many pensioners, especially women, they stay right on their windows. Anything that passes in the street below, they noticed. So if there's a radio announcement, robbery has taken place in so street, about an hour ago, 2 suspects, young men, one is dark, one is something, they dress up. You find these women phoning the police. Someone answering to the description you gave, I just passed through here. He was heading towards so. That's how the police were able to help. Our people don't take note of who is coming to their area. We should enlighten them.
Yeah, but Mr. Numaki, I mean,
Yes.
having clarified what actually transpired, so the issues about security is what everybody is concerned about.
Yes.
So that is not, I'm not sure you disagree that security we need to look at the structure, perhaps in a bigger picture.
Sure.
So these recommendations, they're pretty much the same thing that you've also sought.
No,
is on there.
I've considered earlier in the beginning that, look, I've not seen anybody today in the Southwest that will go anywhere and I say want to be relevant Southwest and say anything different from the consensus already formed in the Southwest. We already have consensus on all these issues. The only argument I raised, and which my experience was, and it's also coming now, because like I said, I mean, we cannot say that people like Senator Rujai, we cannot say that we don't know him as a leader. But when he says that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as Afenifere, in 2004, January 4, 2004, myself, Lee Senator Bamresen, and Pastor Sami, who were in the Senator, please, when Tinubu said that I will never have anything to do with Afenifere again. So when I go to the village and say you are Afenifere, I mean, it's funny. Because you see, and like I said, I was saying earlier, for leadership, it's key that we maintain moral standing. When a lot of people are asking questions, when they say that Asiwaju Tinubu now leading Afenifere to the villa, people are asking, what's going on? I don't know whether I've noticed, because what that kind of thing do to leadership. In the last few days, we have seen comments in the newspaper, online, about how politicians are going to our judges using the name of the president. Oh, as petition, you are going to get judgment. President doesn't want to do justice. And we ask ourselves, how will a president who openly wept, I was with him 2011, when he wept that could not give justice, now be sitting with people to say, you must not give justice. But when it can begin to happen, you compromise the authority of leadership. Like I said, these are eminent gentlemen who on their own, nobody can say that you don't have moral standing to speak for the Yoruba people. But it's just that
I must make a little interjection.
Yes.
I do not agree with my junior brother that Asiwaju Tinubu is not an Afenifere person, or that he was in the heat of a debate in Papa Adesoya's house some 20 years back, said he was not coming to Afenifere meeting again. That didn't mean that he resigned. There could be argument and you will say, please, I'm not pleased with this. If this is the way things are going, I won't be pleased. But it's a bit more fundamental than that. We could call this people the heritage or these governors, the 6 governors of Western Nigeria, AD governors. They were part and parcel of Afenifere. We used to meet either at Ijebu or at Yaba, the Ijibo Street in Yaba, or in the residence of Senator Abraham Adesoya. Those were the 3 essential places. But Ijebu was the one for the general meeting of Afenifere, the executive. And each of them, all the governors, including Tinubu, Oshoba, Bisi Akwade, and so, used to attend. Of course, there was a dichotomy. The ways, I mean, there's no way that intelligent people will stay together and they will say, they concord all the time. There are times when we say, please, in the heat of argument, we do not buy this idea. There are some provocative occasions and so on. We can't rule that out, but that doesn't mean they are not Afenifere or they are not Yoruba or they are not leaders.
Mr. Lumaki, what you saying here now would suggest some kind of division.
Well, I mean, like I told you, it's not division. But you cannot see all the people who are there that day, they are APC Southwest. You can't see people like us going out and say that we are APCs out. We are not an APC. Until on the eve of that last elections, when they put this group together, in the last 15 years, I want you to bring out one statement this group have made in the name of Afenifere for Yoruba people. When all kind of attacks came, when Afenifere came, we never had anybody in group saying that I'm Afenifere, what you are doing to Yoruba is not good. So
okay,
that's why we are not fighting anybody.
Yeah,
we are not saying that we are the only group in Yoruba land.
Okay, I get the point.
We are just saying that don't claim what you are not.
Okay, I will get your point, but we can't let this get in the way of those key suggestions.
Oh no, not at all.
That has been made.
No.
Which we are trying to expand on
sure.
to see how do we practicalize these.
Yes.
Suggestions and recommendations
Sure.
to the president.
Of course.
Because the lives of people, which is what the government were elected to do, that's what they want to secure.
Which they are not doing now.
That's why recommendations and suggestions are coming forward.
Yes.
But Senator, when these suggestions came and they were suggested to the president, I'm just wondering, when that part where you talked about they definitely will need more funds to carry out the security in the Southwest and other regions as well.
Yes.
So how is this going to work out? I mean, how will the center internalize this part where they say, okay, they will need more funds? Because they will always argue that, look, well, according to the laws, we've given them what is their due from the revenue formula. How will you come about more funds?
What was the revenue formula before? And what is it now? Right from military time, the military culture of unified control, where a general was in control at the center and brigadiers and colonels were in control and so. Who is the colonel or brigadier who will challenge or argue against his general when the general says we are reducing the revenue allocation from, on basis of the derivation, say from 60% to 20, then eventually went to 13%. And it was like that. If we had followed the spirit and the letters of the Constitution, the component states that made the Federation would certainly have greater share of the national cake in terms of revenue allocation. Now, but before I go further, tackling your questions, I gave a caution before that you should have told me who you are invited to come along with me. Now, this is not a forum, considering my age and experience in this country. I should don't come here and be discussing, debating something concerning the cultural race of the Yorubas with a younger person as to this is what we think, this is what we think. I would rather we do that in private, not on the basis of...
Well, Senator, the
yes.
production team would have noted that because the key issue that they put on to focus today was security and how to sort it out. And
that is why,
that even on the floor of the Senate,
told me on the basis
intelligent
of
arguments go on.
But
that is not the Senator.
Of my paper.
On this particular recommendation and suggestions on how to move forward, but Mr. Odomaki, if I could ask you, I know that, why is this a need? Because previous government, current government, what did they do about allocating more funds to regions? Because if they didn't do it at that time, isn't it going to be, if governments now say, well, at that time we didn't see them take concrete steps to ensure that that is addressed. So why put that pressure on us to ensure that that is done? Especially if we say, well, we're trying to do something, waiting for this white paper on what to do about security.
Well, it's not even a question about money now. It's not about money. Look, we've been voting money. What do we do with the money? It's about the structure of Nigeria. The present structure of Nigeria is not conducive to development, to security, to anything. In 1967, Awo wrote a book, Thoughts on the Nigerian Constitution. And he did say in that book on page 57 that any attempt to run Nigeria on a unity arrangement will be productive of disharmony, fighting among the people, insecurity, and the whole architecture of governance will collapse under bureaucratic centralism. That's where we are today. And that's why we're talking the fact that we need to go back to the basics. Today, in spite of all the oil wealth, all the money and this, we are today the global sector of poverty in the whole world. The poorest world, not Nigeria. Bandits have taken over the place. I mean, a few days ago, the president was saying that he's handing Kidnappers over to God. Although our vice president went to America to say that, no, the story, they are politically motivated, they are exaggerated. But the truth about it is that today, that Nigeria is in intensive care unit. And we should go the whole holistic thing in terms of go back to the practice of proper federalism. It's not just about voting money, state police and this of them, because even vast state police and people who are unemployed, they have no jobs, they are really there is a breeding ground for banditry. So we must do a holistic thing in terms of ensuring that we rejig our constitution to ensure that every federal unit, they are able to take the social net their grant to use it and develop the area and pay agriculture to the center. So it's not just Abuja dashing out money, giving out money to this. No.
Let me add a caution there. I don't want to believe that Nigeria is a failed state. We have problems, but we have every opportunity. And this government is trying its best to make sure that we utilize all this opportunity to move Nigeria forward. We should not look just at the south side of things. As to the issue of a restructuring, some people seem to overemphasize certain issues. I think it was Ivogenes who said, for the best form of government, let fools contend. Whatever is well administered is best administered. It's fools who will say there can be only one way of doing things and no alternative to it. Now, even if we restructure the country today, if the people still pilfer, if corruption still goes unchecked, if people are still not satisfied with what they have and they want to have their neighbors along with them, you see any constitution in the world will make
but
that
if I can jump in, Senator,
better.
The recommendation that you made
Yes.
to the president,
Yes.
can it be achieved without readjusting the system?
With readjusting the system was part of the recommendation we made.
So that's what, isn't that what some of them refer to as restructuring?
It is not. You see, some people tend to overemphasize issues or politicize it. The thing is there. Say, follow the spirit and letters of the Constitution. In what way is that different from question of restructuring? It's the same thing, semantics now. But it is by coming together and reasoning. Those who are afraid that, if you restructure, it means people are seceding, or it means some people will be more advantaged than the others. It means they are thinking from the point, the myopic point of their own ethnic section. If you think of a country and decide to build a country together, that's why I gave the quotation, that the wind does not blow for him, who has no destination to sail to. If people are not in agreement, how can they move together? It's in the Bible like that. You must have a focus. I was on a visit to Rwanda 3 weeks ago. Those people had serious problem and killed so many of themselves. About 2 million died in their program. Today, you ask any Rwandan, are you a Hutu or a Tutsi? They will probably tell you, I'm Rwandan. That is, let's believe that we're Nigerians. Though there are ethnic groups that come, the experiment has been made since 1914. We cannot go back on that, and let's make it work.
Okay, we'll go to break.
And we have to talk about it.
Okay, we'll come back and wrap this up. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's our concluding moments now. So having seen that these are key issues that need to be addressed, yes. I'm just wondering because, you know, the senators, the members of the House of Reps, both at the state and federal level, they all listen and see these challenges that the country is facing. Why do you think that they've not found it very important to ensure that, look, they make this #1 discussion and ensure that they address this, since this is what the country wants?
Well, leadership is key. And that's why I disagree with my leader. And thank for the fact that the issues are currently being addressed. They are not being addressed. Nigeria is in a flux today. Of all the killings that are going on across the country, kidnapping and them, tell me in which court where you have one member of Mijala that's on trial. It's not happening. That's not to run the country. When all these things are going on, what the federal government is talking about is that they want to set up Ruga settlement for Fulani men all over Nigeria.
No, I don't think they said all over.
They said, that's what they said.
They say all over in 12
Yes.
or 19 states.
What's the meaning? So, in the midst of what has gone on, people are being kidnapped every day. People are, as I yesterday, read the past today, have been kidnapped. And we know that they are doing these things.
But you know,
but
there was a recent story.
It's important.
When you say they've not arrested or anybody's in court,
Yes.
the police have paraded several people. We've seen several in Abuja. There are several arms, ammunition that they paraded. So is it that the investigation or the process of charging them to court is too slow because the system, there's a process. So if the process hasn't begun, it's a different matter entirely.
We had a meeting 2 days ago. A professor from Ekiti, Ayola, came to the meeting and said that he was attacked between Ekiti and Lisha by herdsmen. He managed to escape. He got to the police. Oh, I was almost abducted now. I want to make a report. But he said, by herdsmen and rest of them. Immediately the police told me, I don't know, you can't report here. Go to the next place. Next place, go to the next place. Once you go to Shogbo, there was no police man that would take his reports. Why? Because when you have people who are being accused of a crime, and they are members of a group, and the president of the country is the grand patron of that group, how can you have tied hands with the law enforcement?
Former presidents have been grand patrons of the group, haven't they?
Which like who?
Wasn't President Jonathan grand patron of the group?
Mizdala.
Didn't they go to visit him at some
No,
point?
even if he was not grand patron, Mizdala. Was not grand
Was he
patron.
patron or
I
grand
think you
patron?
are imposing motives. Please, let's face reality. You understand me?
What's reality?
Reality is that a president is set up to handle issue of security overall in the country. If this is delegated to the police to do for him, you understand me? It's the police. Now, what you said, that people were shifting responsibility. Somebody came to a police station and it says, go to the next one, and then to go to the next one. If there are things like that, it could be reported. If it is reported and no action is taken, you are free. You are a man who are free with the press, and so you can air it and say something. And certainly, the government will not close a blind eye to that. That people come to seek justice and they are denied. I do not believe.
How serious, Senator, do you think the security issues in the nation is? Maybe I should recoin it. Do you think we've been able to track down, legally, socially, whatever, the real issues behind this insecurity?
I would not claim to know the answer, because if I knew it, I would offer it and probably will get solution. But there's no doubt this thing is overall our territory. And we are not being able to lay hands on the real source. We've been living in this country many years before he was born, and you people, your generation. We never had this type of thing before. But it's not peculiar to Nigeria.
So that
and we are not sure where these people are coming from.
Yes, the reason I asked that, because you just answered it in a way now that before we came on, the things weren't this bad. But things have gotten so uncomfortably bad that
everywhere.
It even gets you are not able to sleep the way you would love to sleep now. It's giving you serious concern. So have we been able to track down, I mean, from your own experience, what do you think are the real issues behind this insecurity?
A lot of things. Do you know corruption has a hand in it? Let me trace it for you. What is meant for the overall general good of the people, if some few people pocket that, and if people get rich overnight, and the electorate go to the highest bidder, to vote for the highest bidder, then those people that say, wait a bit, where shall I ever be relevant in this society? They must have a way. Let me carry drugs. So, but the whole thing, if we must reform this country, the change, as your paper organ, the change begins with me. We have to have a total rebirth as a people, all of us, both not only just the government, even the followership. If we are righteous, if we ourselves are upright and righteous, it will be difficult for a government that is otherwise to survive.
Okay, now, Mr. Odumaki.
We're winding down now, though.
Yes. One of the issues raised, with the president is that of youth employment and solving the problem of youth unemployment, which, of course, many of the perpetrators of this insecurity are in that regard. Going forward,
Yes.
how quickly do you think that needs to be done?
Well, in 2015, when the current government came to power, they promised they were going to create 3 million jobs annually. Statistics have shown that we have lost more than a number of jobs every year. To address unemployment today, you cannot do it within what we are doing now. We can only do it. One, the first thing you have to do, we have to remove that section in the Constitution, first of all, which is that all mineral resources in Nigeria belong to the federal government. Every state in Nigeria must be able to dig what's under their soil. You create corridors of prosperity all over Nigeria. Nigeria is the only place today where you use land mass to go and share money. Land is a part of production. Netherlands, the 5th largest producer of agricultural exporter all over the world. The land in Netherlands is not the land in Niger State. You know what I do in Niger? At the end of the month, you want to use to share money in Abuja. We can't grow that way.
Okay.
So we must. So when I was saying that restructuring into proper federalism, which my leaders agree with, I don't know what to say because what we are doing now has failed.
And speaking about which,
holistically, yes.
let's assign responsibility as we close this. The governors also had their meeting.
Yes.
What do you expect of them concerning this matter moving forward?
Which the Southwest governors?
Southwest governors.
Oh, that was no meeting. It was a waste of time.
Why?
They had a meeting. I mean, even by yesterday, even they're laughing for you. The Ghanaian Dams, I don't know. Everybody said what at that meeting said this was a waste of everybody's time. They had a meeting in which the governors spoke for almost 3.5 hours. I think only one of the governors mentioned the question of insecurity in Southwest. And when somebody rose to speak, all the governors walked out. No communicator was in the meeting. You saw the meeting of the Southeast governors. They took firm positions. You can see this is where they stand.
I do not agree with the gentleman what he's saying. That the 6 governors of the Southwest, including one who is not even an APC man, came there and you just worked out on each other or something. What
that was what happened. Find out what happened.
I do not agree with
Find out what happened.
I was in Abuja.
Find out what happened.
The part to get solution to this thing is part of what we put in our paper. I think it's our number 2 is education. And where I work today as chairman of NCC, we are doing something along that line. The world today goes digitalization is the issue, telecommunication. Give our children, our youth, proper education, not on vocational, basic, technical, and digital ICT education. They will be able to work for themselves. We're having a program whereby we pick those highly intelligent, talented young men who are not aware they are. There are so many big gates among them, Nigerian youth. Train them, we put some money in training them. The process is on with the NCC is doing with DBI to get these children to be able to perform and to be able to work for themselves. Education will cure that part of the issue of unemployment. When you are able to work on your own, you don't have to depend on government and big farms to work.
All right, gentlemen, we'll have to leave it at that point. We've been speaking with Yinka Odumake, spokesperson of Afenifere, and Senator Olabi Durojai, who, as you saw, led that delegation and made that presentation to the president. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll turn our attention to another matter. Mr. Odumake highlighted some of it, but it's coming up in a moment. Don't go away.